Okay, I heard you say acid like 70 times. Why is that important? Especially for like a quote unquote layman when it comes to cuisine and culinary.
Okay, so my collard greens that we all had tonight, I prefer a more acidic collard greens. My family cooks it with ham hock, and I would say the traditional Southern style. I choose to cook mine with red pepper flakes, brown sugar, and a lot of wine and apple cider vinegar. So you have the acidity and you have the sweetness and a little bit of heat at the back end. The chicken and the mashed potatoes are very heavy and fatty. So the acid on your tongue and when you eat cuts through the fattiness. It's similar to like wine.
Sure.
So like you pair a nice cab with a fatty steak. That Cabernet will cut through the fattiness of the steak. And also you can't really drink the Cabernet by itself because it's very tannic and dry and coats your mouth.
Sure.
So it's like a perfect kind of pairing. So you kind of need all of that in play.
Okay. And you said there were 4 different kinds of acid that you're paying attention to?
Yes.
What were the kinds of acid again?
Ascorbic, citric, malic. I'm nervous.
The 4th one.
So yeah, the 4th one.
That's all right. The
acid.
rest. The acid.
Yeah.
It's acid.
Yeah.
It burns it. It burns through.
But they also hit your tongue differently too.
For sure.
So yeah.
When did you know like the science of it was something that you would be really interested? It seems like you are interested in that.
Yeah.
But like I don't know that everybody always is interested in like the intricate details in that way.
Not until after 2016.
Okay.
Honestly, yeah.
And that was when you came back and were at Patachou?
Yeah, when I was in New York and then I came back. And then, so I learned a lot from Tyler Harold, who was the executive chef of Patachou, all of Patachou. So I learned a lot and got to work with him at like Public Greens. I mainly was at Patachou and Broad Ripple and Annapolis.
Okay.
But learned a lot and got to meet a lot of farmers that way. But then coming back and working at Tinker, Chef Braden Kellner really helped me kind of like guide me with my palate and everything else. But I did a lot of research and read a good amount of books, more than I do now. But yeah,
for sure. Well, something about it like piqued your interest in it.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Was that the moment that obviously when you're working in New York, it was like, okay, I can do this and make a career out of it. But was like coming back and having those conversations with them, like the impetus to be like, this is for sure what I want to do. Like, I want to do this here.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I mean, I had some opportunities to stay in New York, to go to LA or go to Chicago. And it was, I went to New York. I was in New York first, could have stayed, went to LA. My cousin was opening up a hotel out there.
Shout out cousin.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And the commute would have been crazy.
Totally.
And the hours I would have worked. And then Chicago, kind of similar, but I staged at a Michelin star restaurant, and it kind of hit me then. I was like, okay, we get similar produce. These are the same farm produce that we can get in Indiana, and I just don't see people like using it that way, cooking with produce like that, cooking seasonally. And, I feel like if we had a huge financial backing, 40 people to work in a kitchen, and then, all this equipment, we could easily do that and maybe get a little bit more following. But we're kind of the little brother Chicago, so it's a little hard.
Sure.
But to me, I had seen some chefs here, especially when I came back from New York, really trying to do that. And for some reason, there was something that told me that I need to try to do that here more.
Yeah.
So,
I will say that was one of the things that really piqued my interest in our initial conversation was when you brought up working with and collaborating and sourcing ingredients locally. Can you talk about how like you initially realized that was an avenue that was open to you? Because I feel like in New York, or in bigger cities, there are not many farms around that you can easily go to acquire something locally. Maybe, I don't know. But here it seems like that's a little bit more accessible. What was it that made you realize like, oh, this is something that we need to be tapping into?
I think definitely working at Patachou and under Tyler Harold. I mean, that was his driving force was really getting farm fresh produce. And I don't think that I really understood it at the time until I had gone to other places and gotten a little further into my career. And especially coming back from New York, there is a market in Union Square almost year round.
Yeah.
So like I have a story where I had to walk like 30 blocks with 40 pounds of butternut squash. And the chefs never told me that we had a wagon. So, and they were like, be back in 2 hours or an hour and a half. And I was like, yes, chef. And I'm like dragging this huge trash bag full of squash from the market. But, I think I really got to understand what flavors were and just the differences. My cousin would bring me over and be like, taste this. Taste everything, try everything. This is local. This is in season. This is from a farm. This tastes so much different than if you were to get it from the store.
Sure.
And then when I came back, I started talking with Tyler Harold, Tinker Street. They worked with farmers as well. And then, I started just tasting things, trying things. And I feel fairly blessed to be able to work at 2 places here because I'm a pretty loyal person. I stay in one spot at a good amount of time. But to be able to experience that, because there's a lot of places that don't use local produce like that. And we've had multiple people that come onto the staff that are like, this is what a cucumber tastes like. This is what a farm tomato tastes like. So the difference is exponentially greater. And you also don't have to do too much to the food. In the summertime, normally we just have like braised ingredients, raw ingredients, and then just use salt, pepper, oil, and that's about it. So you can really taste the difference. And getting to know the farmers, when you get to know them and get to see what they go through and what they do. Their schedule is worse than mine. So
Sure.
it's harder than what I do.
Yeah.